In today's video, Bitcoin had a massive short squeeze during the weekend, but should you wait for a pullback? Furthermore, Amazon is looking to accept Bitcoin later this year. Is this just a rumor? Next, FTX and Binance are cutting their leverage limit. Is this good for Bitcoin? And finally, some more news coming right up. Welcome back everyone, I'm your host Edward, and on this channel I talk about stocks and crypto news. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe and hit that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, during the weekend there were some really crazy moves happening with Bitcoin, and I really want to talk about that today. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and let's just dive right in. So as usual, I'm just going to go through the markets first, and today the stock market is a little flat. But yeah, looking at the heat map, there's a little bit of, green and red everywhere. So it kind of just tells us today is just a flat day. But over here we can see that Tesla is up about 3% because they will be reporting their earnings after the market close. So I'll actually touch base on the numbers tomorrow. And heading into the crypto market, we can see that it is up about 11% today, which is a crazy move. And Bitcoin is up about 14% within the last 24 hours. But heading into our first article, we can see that Bitcoin tops about 39,000 for the first time in nearly 6 weeks. But yeah, based on the key points, right? One attribute could be that the Beware conference was a great hit and a lot of people are starting to buy in, and some environmental concerns regarding Bitcoin mining has kind of wore off. But this article didn't really give the big picture on really what happened on Sunday, so I'll go into my TA because it was mostly related to technical analysis. So first, right, we closed above this yellow line, which is the 50-day weekly moving average, and last week a lot of people started shorting because we did close below it, and usually that is a bearish sign. But I did say last week that this could be a fake out, and lo and behold, it happened. And right now at the end of the week, if we close above the 21 weekly EMA, which is about $39,000, that to me in a technical standpoint means we're going to see a reversal. So that's very huge, and I'm hoping that we can close above the 21-day EMA on Sunday, but we'll see what happens during the week, and I hope nothing crazy goes on. Right now going into the daily time frame, right, we're seeing huge volume coming up, and obviously Bitcoin exploded. I have never seen such a big candle in a while, but I think this is the point where a reversal is coming in. Now going into the 1 minute time frame, right? So yesterday Bitcoin was hovering at about $37,000, and what happened was that a lot of shorters closed their positions, but Bitcoin literally pumped $2,000 USD in 1 minute, and that has never really happened before. I have to give a shout out to this person here, which is Biz General. He doesn't just look at the price, he looks at other factors. So first is the long and short accounts ratio, second is the open interest, and third is the aggressive funding rate. So during this point, right, a lot of people started shorting Bitcoin, and actually every time it dipped around that level, it got shorter and shorter, meaning not a lot of people are shorting anymore. And if we look at the open interest, this tells us that a lot of futures positions are being opened, either long or short. But if we look at the long short accounts ratio, more people are actually long on Bitcoin, and the people that are shorting it are actually the retail traders, and usually they're not correct most of the time. And if we look at this tweet by Will, right, and he actually predicted this on Friday that we're gonna see a short squeeze. Retail traders kept shorting it when it was around 35k, and when Bitcoin closed above the 50 weekly EMA, all the shorters started to liquidate their positions. So unfortunately, a lot of retail traders used a lot of leverage to short Bitcoin, and now they're pretty much left with nothing, right? And that's the dangers of leveraging, especially if you're shorting. And if you're doing this just because you're listening to another YouTuber, I really don't suggest that, because yesterday I just found out that there was like a lot of people being bearish, and I never knew that was a thing until recently. And I actually looked at other channels and they were talking a lot of crap about Bitcoin and saying how it's going to go down to 25k. And fast forward to today, right, they're all incorrect, and I feel really bad for the viewers that actually believed that Bitcoin was going to go down. Usually I'm very bullish, but I try to be open-minded. Now moving forward to the fear and greed index, right, a lot of people are right now still fearful, just not extreme fear, just just a little bit fearful still, which is surprising to me because we saw a big pump yesterday, and I thought the fear and greed index would be a little higher, but surprisingly it isn't. Now moving to the S2F model, right, and this is the S2FX model, we're finally seeing a reversal, and this could be the point where Bitcoin has another bull run. So right now, based on the S2F model, right, Bitcoin should be worth about about $92,000 today. And this model has a regression rate of about 95%, which isn't really a perfect fit, which is why I do like looking at the S2FX model, because this model includes silver and gold. And based on this model, right, Bitcoin should be worth about 200k today. Yes, it sounds ridiculous, but there has been a lot of FUD, which is pushing down the price. So it is what it is. And this model in particular has a regression rate of about 99.7%, which is a perfect fit, which is why I do believe in this model more than S2F. But the problem is if S2F is invalidated, then the S2FX model also gets invalidated, because you can think of this as a layer on top of S2F. But before I head into my last article, right, I just want to show a tweet here, right? I know like a lot of people always say that Bitcoin is too expensive. I don't like timing the market. I usually just dollar cost average into my position, and every paycheck I've been putting it into Bitcoin. And luckily I put a lot of money on Friday, because I would have missed out on this recent run up. And remember, we're still super early into Bitcoin, and it's gonna play exactly like how the internet played out, where a lot of people doubted it at first, but in the next couple years we're gonna see mass adoption. Amazon plans to accept Bitcoin payments this year based on an insider info. So when I first saw this article, you got no idea how excited I was, because actually during the weekend I was chilling with some friends and we were just brainstorming ideas for fun. But one idea that really caught me was that why don't we have like a marketplace where you can buy whatever you want, but with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. So obviously before this news, right, Amazon wasn't doing it. And to make Bitcoin a legitimate currency, we have to show the people, the masses, on why Bitcoin actually works. And I feel like there isn't enough education about it, and that's a bummer. But last week there was a news, right, where Amazon is hiring a digital currency and blockchain expert. And this shows a huge signal that they're really interested into cryptocurrencies. Right now, based on my own knowledge, I don't know any marketplace out there that accepts Bitcoin where you can buy a glass of mug, a microphone, diapers, and etc. with Bitcoin. So I'm more excited on how Amazon's gonna implement the Lightning Network into their ecosystem, because that's the only way, in my opinion, where this whole thing's gonna work out, especially for Bitcoin. And I have to thank this person right here, because Jeff Bezos wouldn't have done it. And once he got out of the CEO position, Andy Jassy already knows what to do. I'm pretty sure he was pushing for this for a very long time, but Jeff Bezos just didn't see the vision with it. And Andy Jassy, right, is a profit person. Like, Andy Jassy made AWS the most profitable revenue stream for Amazon, and majority of the profits comes from the cloud business, not the retail business. And I think Andy Jassy is trying to make Amazon.com a profit generating business, and cryptocurrencies is the key to it. And if we look at Amazon stock today, right, it's up about 1%, because a lot of people are pricing in the news, and right now they're only trading at a $1.8 trillion market cap, and I feel like they should be worth way more than Apple, to be honest, especially with the moves that they're making very soon. So heading into Seeking Alpha, we can look at their forward EBITDA, and I don't like to calculate this manually, it takes a lot of time, so I like to go into this website to look for it. And right now the forward EBITDA is at about 25, meaning if Amazon's gonna produce $419 billion of revenue for the rest of eternity, then it's gonna take 25 years to get 100% ROI, because EBITDA is cash profits. And I find this a better indicator than the PE ratio, because the PE ratio is more based on earnings, and every company has different earnings because of taxes and how they do business. So that's why I don't find it as a really great valuation metric unless the company actually makes stagnant revenues like Apple, Kraft, P&G, and Clorox, right? Those are great examples. But in terms of Amazon, right, this is a company that's growing 20 to 30% year over year. So using the PE ratio isn't really that great, which is why I use forward EBITDA, because it's cash profits. So it doesn't include like interest, taxes, amortization, and depreciation. And I think I mentioned this before, but if there's one stock that I'll own for the rest of my life that's safe, profitable, that has a huge cash flow, and understands how to allocate capital, Amazon would be it. And I think Amazon is still very early, in my opinion. And morally, I understand why people don't like Amazon, right? Because the richest man alive owns this company. But we kind of have to take our morals away when it comes to investing, because the real goal of investing into stocks is to invest in companies that are going to make you more money. So cash profits is the best measure, in my opinion, to kind of evaluate the stock. But in the end, this just makes me even more bullish on Bitcoin. And if this really happens later this year, I'm gonna definitely make another video video about it, but I'm just gonna say told you so, right? We're still early. And all the bears that shorted Bitcoin, I feel like you just gotta dig deeper into the fundamentals, because I don't think the fundamentals has been affected at all. And as long as you have high conviction and believe in it, there shouldn't be any reason to short it or even sell it, in my opinion. I think you should just hold it and just never look at it again. So now getting into some crypto exchange news, FTX cuts leverage limit to 20x from 100x as criticism of margin trading in crypto grows. And what we saw on Sunday, right? A lot of retail traders are using leverage to either long their positions or short their positions. I'm gonna say this right now, half of them got no idea what they're doing, and they're probably listening to a YouTube channel that's very bearish on Bitcoin, right? And they're gonna base it strictly on their views, and unfortunately that's not how it works. I feel like people should always do their own kind of research and have their own independent thinking rather than relying on someone with, you know, your money, right? And I know a lot of newbies are coming in doing margin trading because the reward is very juicy, right? I'm glad that these exchanges are finally, you know, cutting down their leverage, and beginners shouldn't even touch margins, all right? First of all, and I see some YouTubers, you know, getting that juicy referral code, but unfortunately, you're just gonna hurt your audience, right? And I feel like you have an obligation to think of the viewer instead of thinking for yourself. Just my philosophy. Sorry if I'm getting too deep. But we also saw Binance cutting their leverage limit after FTX announced their news. And yeah, I think we're gonna see a huge shift on leverage limits. And if you're watching my channel, I don't recommend or condone leverage at all. Just use what you have, because if you use your own money, worst case scenario, you're gonna go down to zero. But if you're gonna use margin, the sky's the limit. You could lose up to negative $50,000. And how are you gonna pay that back, right? So unless you know what you're doing, please don't use margin. And I myself don't use it, right? So that's that. Now in the next article, I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but it seems like Fidelity is saying that by 2026, a vast majority of institutions will own crypto. And obviously, you already know my opinion. I do agree with this. Because first of all, right, we saw so many institutions applying for a Bitcoin ETF. And right now, Global X just filed another one. And this is the 14th application sitting with the SEC. And obviously, they're trying to delay it because they don't really like Bitcoin. And overall, this is just giving me more conviction on my thesis, because demand is going up really high and the supply is limited. So if you do the math, you should know what's gonna happen. And not only that, right, JP Morgan is gonna become the first bank to give retail clients access to Bitcoin. This is like the biggest bank right now in the United States. And when there's high demand, right, these people start following the trend. And obviously the CEO of JP Morgan doesn't like Bitcoin, but he sees money in this sector, right, pouring in, which is why he probably approved it. But he doesn't believe in it still, which is kind of hypocritical, but it is what it is. That wraps it for this video. If you're interested in buying crypto, please click my referral links in the description box down below, and we can both get a small cash bonus once you sign up and make some trades. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see my videos every single week. That's pretty much it. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.